Have you ever spent hours visualizing, affirming, and trying to feel as if you already had what you desire, only to discover that the more you try to attract, the more distant everything seems to become? It's as if there's an invisible force pushing your dreams away every time you try to pull them closer. The truth is, you're not failing at manifestation. You're using a fundamentally incorrect approach. For decades, we've been taught that we are magnets trying to attract distant realities, when in fact, we are quantum receivers capable of tuning into frequencies that already exist around us at this very moment. Perhaps you feel like you've spent years trying to attract abundance, love, or health, only to experience waves of frustration when results didn't come or came inconsistently. This exhaustion from trying to convince the universe to respond to your requests is deeply real. Millions of people carry this same silent anguish, secretly believing they're not good enough at manifestation, or that the universe simply doesn't hear them. The sensation of always chasing something that seems to slip through your fingers, like trying to hold water with open hands, is one of the most discouraging experiences of the spiritual journey. You're not doing anything wrong. You are just using the right tool in the wrong way. Gregg Braden revolutionized our understanding by demonstrating through his research that we don't attract what we want, but become what we already are in the quantum field. His discoveries reveal that the universe isn't an external delivery system, but a field of possibilities where all realities already exist simultaneously, waiting only for us to tune into the correct frequency. Joe Dispenza complements this vision by showing that when we change our internal energy, we change our external life. His studies prove that tuning is the true energy of conscious creation, not attraction based on desire and mental effort. The greatest illusion of manifestation is believing that what you desire is somewhere distant, floating in the cosmic ether, waiting to be magnetically pulled into your reality. But quantum physics reveals a revolutionary truth. All possible versions of your life already exist here and now, at different frequencies, like radio stations broadcasting simultaneously in the air. You don't need to create your ideal life. It's already been created. You don't need to attract abundance. It's already present. You don't need to pull love into your life. It's already here. The only thing you need to do is adjust your internal frequency to tune into the station where these realities are already being broadcast. It's like being in a room full of music but wearing broken headphones. The music was always there. You just needed to fix your receiver. Most people approach the law of attraction as if it were a cosmic catalogue. They visualize what they want, try to feel corresponding emotions, and wait for the universe to deliver the order like a spiritual delivery service. But this approach stems from a fundamentally incorrect premise: that you are separated from what you desire. This inverted formula works like this. First, you recognize you don't have something. Then you try to convince the universe you deserve it. And finally, you wait for external forces to reorganize reality to fulfill your request. The problem is this process keeps you eternally in the frequency of lack, because you're constantly affirming and feeling that you don't possess what you seek. The correct formula is the opposite. You first tune into the frequency of the reality where you already possess what you desire, then allow this new frequency to stabilize in your nervous system, and finally observe how external reality naturally reorganizes to reflect your new internal tuning. Your consciousness functions exactly like a sophisticated radio. It doesn't create the waves it receives, but tunes into frequencies that already exist in the electromagnetic field around you. Similarly, you don't create realities from nothing. You tune into realities that already exist in the quantum field of infinite possibilities. When you understand you're a receiver, not a magnet, the entire dynamic of manifestation transforms. You stop trying to pull things towards you with mental and emotional force, and begin delicately adjusting your internal frequency to capture the reality you want to experience. A radio doesn't struggle to receive signals. It simply aligns with the correct frequency, and sound appears naturally, effortlessly. Your life works the same way. When you align with the right frequency, the corresponding experience manifests without struggle, without tension, without the exhaustion of trying to force the universe to cooperate. Everything in the universe is energy vibrating at specific frequencies. From the simplest atom to the most complex galaxy, everything is vibrational movement, organized in unique patterns. You are no exception. You are a vibrational being living in a vibrational universe, and your life experience is determined by the frequency you're tuned into at this moment. Manifestation isn't about intensely desiring and waiting for the universe to respond like a genie in a lamp. It's about understanding that you are a frequency instrument that needs to be tuned to resonate with the reality you want to experience. When a violin is out of tune, it still produces sound, but not the music you want to hear. Quantum physics has confirmed what mystics always knew. At its most fundamental essence, everything is vibration. What you perceive as solid matter is actually energy vibrating at specific frequencies that create the illusion of solidity. Your table, your house, your body, your thoughts, your emotions. Everything is different frequencies of vibration dancing in harmony or dissonance. The difference between a thought of abundance and a thought of scarcity isn't just conceptual, it's vibrational. Each thought, each emotion, each belief emits a specific frequency that resonates with corresponding realities in the quantum field. It's like a radio station transmitting a specific signal that can only be captured by receivers tuned to the same frequency. When you understand you live in a purely vibrational universe, you realize that changing your experience is a matter of adjusting your frequency, not convincing external forces to reorganize your reality. If you're experiencing a reality you don't desire, it means your internal frequency is misaligned with the frequency of the reality you prefer. It's like trying to play a symphony with an out-of-tune instrument. The sound that comes out doesn't correspond to the music you have in mind. Your current frequency is a complex combination of your habitual thoughts, dominant emotions, subconscious beliefs, and behavioral patterns. If these elements are aligned with scarcity, conflict, or limitation, you automatically tune into realities that reflect these frequencies. It's not punishment or bad luck. It's simply the natural law of resonance in action. The good news is that just like a musical instrument can be tuned, your personal frequency can be recalibrated. You're not condemned to live at your current frequency. you can learn to adjust your internal tuning with the same precision that a musician tunes their instrument. Quantum calibration is the process of consciously adjusting your internal frequency to resonate with the reality you want to experience. It's like tuning a piano. It requires attention, precision, and delicate adjustments until each note sounds in perfect harmony. The first step is developing awareness of your current frequency. Observe your dominant thoughts, your most common emotions, and the patterns that repeat in your life. These are the indicators of the frequency you're transmitting to the quantum field. It's like checking which station your radio is tuned to before trying to change to another. The second step is identifying the frequency of the desired reality. How would you think, feel, and act if you already lived completely in the reality you desire? This is the target frequency you need to calibrate your internal instrument to. It's not imagination or fantasy. It's precise vibrational mapping. Cosmic begging is the habit of constantly asking, pleading, or negotiating with the universe for changes, as if you were a spiritual beggar dependent on the charity of higher forces. This approach keeps you eternally in the position of one who doesn't have and needs to receive, creating a frequency of lack that attracts more experiences of scarcity. When you understand you're a quantum receiver, you stop asking and start tuning. You don't beg for abundance. You align with the frequency where abundance already exists. You don't plead for love. You resonate with the frequency where love is already being transmitted. You don't beg for health. You tune into the station where vitality is already playing. This shift in perspective transforms you from beggar to maestro of your own experience. You stop being someone who waits for the universe to give you something and become someone who consciously chooses which frequency to experience at each moment. The quantum field is like an infinite radio system with unlimited stations, each broadcasting a different version of your life. All possible realities already exist simultaneously in this field. You just need to find the right frequency to tune into the station you want to hear. This understanding completely dissolves the notion of impossibility. There are no impossible things to manifest. There are only frequencies you haven't yet learned to tune into. It's like discovering your radio always had access to thousands of stations, but you only knew 3. At this exact moment, infinite versions of you are living infinite versions of your life. There's an abundant version, a healthy version, a passionate version, a fulfilled version, all coexisting in the quantum field of possibilities. These aren't fantasies or future potentials. They are complete and functional realities, existing at parallel frequencies. The version of you that has already overcome all your current challenges isn't a distant goal you need to reach. It's a present reality operating at a different frequency than the one you're tuned into now. It's like having an apartment with dozens of rooms, but living only in the living room because you didn't know the other doors existed. When you understand your personal multiverse already exists, you stop trying to create new realities and begin accessing the ones that are already available. The question stops being, how do I create this? And becomes, how do I tune into this? Each possible reality has a unique vibrational signature, a specific combination of thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and states of being that characterize that frequency. To tune into the abundance station, you need to identify and embody the vibrational signature of abundance. The frequency of abundance isn't about having lots of money in the bank. It's about operating from an internal state of fullness, gratitude, and natural flow. It's the difference between someone who has money but lives in fear of losing it, and someone who may have fewer resources but operates from deep trust in life's continuous provision. To locate any desired frequency, you need to ask the right question. How would I think, feel, and act if I already lived completely in this reality? The answer is the vibrational map you need to follow to tune into the correct station. Doubt is like static on a radio. It interferes with signal clarity and distorts reception. When you doubt the possibility of tuning into a new reality, you create interference that prevents clear tuning. It's like trying to listen to soft music while someone is hammering on the wall next door. Interference doesn't just come from conscious doubts, but also from conflicting subconscious beliefs, unresolved fears, and misaligned emotional patterns. You might be consciously trying to tune into abundance, but if you subconsciously believe you don't deserve it, or that money is dirty, you create static that prevents clear reception. The solution isn't to completely eliminate doubt. That would be impossible and unnecessary. The solution is to learn to tune with such clarity and consistency that interference becomes irrelevant. When the signal is strong enough, a little static doesn't prevent you from hearing the music. Once you master the art of tuning, you can change reality as quickly as you change TV channels. There's no mandatory waiting period or gradual process. Change happens the moment you completely align with the new frequency. This speed can be frightening to the linear mind, which is accustomed to gradual changes and lengthy processes. But in the quantum realm, instantaneous changes are perfectly natural. It's like turning on a light. You don't need to wait for darkness to gradually diminish. Light appears instantly when you flip the switch. The secret to instant access is completeness of tuning. When you align totally and unconditionally with a new frequency, without mental reservations or emotional hesitations, the corresponding reality manifests immediately. The speed of manifestation is directly proportional to the purity of your tuning. Your identity is your receiving antenna. It determines which frequencies you can capture and which remain inaccessible. When you fundamentally change who you are, you automatically tune into a different reality, because your new identity can only receive frequencies compatible with it. This is why trying to change external circumstances without changing internal identity rarely works long term. It's like trying to receive FM stations with an AM antenna. The technology simply isn't compatible. Your identity functions like a highly specialized antenna, tuned to receive only frequencies that are compatible with who you believe yourself to be. If you identify as someone who always struggles financially, your identity antenna can only capture frequencies of scarcity and difficulty. It's not a limitation of the universe. It's a limitation of your receiving antenna. The universe is broadcasting all frequencies simultaneously. like a giant radio tower, sending thousands of different stations. But you can only receive those your current identity can process. It's like having a radio that only gets AM. When you want to listen to FM, the problem isn't that FM stations don't exist. It's that your equipment isn't configured to receive them. When you understand your identity is your antenna, you realize that changing your life is a matter of reconfiguring your receiving antenna, not convincing the universe to transmit different signals. Recalibrating your identity frequency is like updating your receiving antenna's software. You're not changing who you fundamentally are. You're expanding your capacity to receive higher frequencies, more aligned with your true nature. The process begins with the conscious decision to abandon aspects of the old identity that no longer serve the reality you want to experience. This can generate resistance, because your mind is accustomed to the familiar identity, even if it's limiting. It's like trading old tight shoes for new ones. At first it might feel strange, but soon you realize how much more comfortable it is. Next, you gradually incorporate aspects of the new identity, thinking, feeling, and acting like the version of you that already lives the desired reality. It's not pretending or acting. It's progressive alignment with a more authentic and expanded version of who you really are. Internal coherence happens when all aspects of your identity, thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and actions are aligned with the same frequency. When there's total coherence, you emit a clean, clear signal that resonates perfectly with the corresponding reality. External interference is usually a reflection of internal incoherence. When part of you wants abundance, but another part believes you don't deserve it, you create static that interferes with clear reception. It's like trying to tune into two radio stations at once. You only hear confused noise. When you achieve internal coherence, external interferences simply disappear, because you're no longer in vibrational conflict with yourself. Your signal becomes so clear and consistent that reality has no choice but to reflect this clarity back to you. Mastery of tuning happens when you don't just access a frequency, but become that frequency. At this point, you're no longer trying to tune into abundance. You are abundance. You're not seeking love. You are love. You're not looking for peace. You are peace. This transformation is deeper than behavioral change or positive thinking. It's a fundamental reorganization of your vibrational essence. You literally become the living frequency of the reality you want to experience. When you reach this level of tuning, manifestation stops being something you do and becomes something you are. Your very existence becomes a constant transmission of the desired frequency, naturally attracting experiences that resonate with that frequency. It's like becoming a radio station that broadcasts only the music you love. Did you feel that shift in perspective when we talked about becoming the frequency instead of trying to attract it? That understanding that you are the quantum radio, not the cosmic beggar. So, before we advance to the practice of conscious tuning, leave in the comments which frequency you're choosing to embody now. Your declaration is the first adjustment of your new tuning. Conscious tuning is the art of adjusting your internal frequency, moment by moment, staying aligned with the reality you want to experience. It's not a complicated technique requiring years of practice. It's a natural skill you can develop through present awareness. The simplicity of tuning is its greatest strength. You don't need elaborate rituals, special crystals, or complex techniques. You just need to stop fighting against your current frequency and allow natural alignment with the desired frequency. Calibrating your frequency is like adjusting the dial of a vintage radio. Small movements can make a dramatic difference in reception clarity. You don't need to make radical changes or spectacular transformations. Small, consistent adjustments are more effective than large, sporadic changes. Fine-tuning happens through present awareness. When you notice you're tuned into a frequency you don't desire, thoughts of scarcity, emotions of fear, limiting behaviors, you simply make a small adjustment, redirecting your attention to the desired frequency. These micro-adjustments, repeated consistently throughout the day, gradually stabilize your new frequency until it becomes your natural tuning. It's like training a muscle. Each repetition strengthens your ability to maintain alignment until operating at the desired frequency becomes automatic. Resistance is the greatest enemy of clear tuning. When you force or struggle to change your frequency, you create tension that interferes with natural reception. It's like trying to force a delicate radio dial. You might break the mechanism instead of improving the tuning. Effective tuning happens through allowing, not forcing. You allow your frequency to adjust naturally, like a compass needle that aligns with the magnetic field when you stop interfering with it. Nature always seeks harmony and alignment. Your only task is to stop resisting this natural process. Zero resistance doesn't mean passivity or inaction. It means action without tension, change without struggle, transformation without internal conflict. It's the difference between swimming against the current and letting yourself be carried by water's natural flow toward your destination. The universe is constantly providing feedback about your current tuning through the experiences you attract. When you're on the right frequency, life flows with ease. Synchronicities appear naturally, and you feel a deep sense of internal alignment. When you're misaligned, you encounter resistance, conflicts, and obstacles. These aren't cosmic punishments or spiritual tests. They're simply indicators that your frequency needs adjustment. It's like noise on a radio, indicating you need to fine-tune better. Learning to read this quantum feedback allows you to make real-time adjustments, always staying aligned with the desired frequency. You become your own tuning technician, capable of calibrating your frequency with growing precision based on the signals reality is constantly sending. Mastery happens when conscious tuning becomes as natural as breathing. You no longer need to think about adjusting your frequency. It adjusts automatically to maintain alignment with the desired reality, like a spiritual autopilot system. At this level of mastery, you live in a state of perpetual tuning, always aligned with the highest frequencies available to you in each moment. Your life becomes a symphony of consciously chosen experiences, each resonating perfectly with your internal frequency. Mastery isn't a final destination, but a state of continuous flow where you're always refining and expanding your capacity to tune into increasingly higher frequencies. You become a virtuoso of quantum tuning, capable of accessing any reality that resonates with your highest evolution. The most liberating truth you can understand is this: you already are a perfect quantum receiver. You don't need to learn complex techniques, develop special abilities, or undergo dramatic transformations. You are just tuned to the wrong station, but your reception capacity has always been impeccable. Each moment offers a new opportunity to adjust your tuning and experience a different reality. You're not limited by your past experience or current circumstances. You're limited only by the frequency you choose to remain tuned into. Your ability to tune into different realities isn't something you need to develop. It's something you've always possessed. From the moment you were born, you've been a perfect quantum receiver, constantly tuning into and experiencing different frequencies. The only difference is that now you're doing it consciously. What changed wasn't your capacity, but your awareness of that capacity. Now you know you can consciously choose which frequency to experience, instead of tuning randomly or through unconscious habit. It's like discovering you always knew how to drive, but were driving with your eyes closed. This recognition completely transforms your relationship with manifestation. You stop being someone trying to learn to manifest and become someone remembering how to consciously use an ability you've always possessed. Living permanently tuned to the desired frequency is like finding your favorite radio station and deciding never to change channels unnecessarily. You don't need to constantly search for new frequencies. You can simply enjoy the perfect tuning you've already found. This doesn't mean stagnation, but conscious stabilization. You establish yourself in the frequency that resonates with your deepest values and most authentic vision of life, allowing this frequency to become your new natural operating frequency. From this stabilization, you can explore subtle variations within the same general frequency, like different songs playing on the same station. Your life becomes a rich and varied exploration within a frequency fundamentally aligned with who you really are. The spiritual search often becomes an endless quest, where you're always looking for something better, higher, or more complete. But when you understand tuning, the search transforms into conscious choice. You stop searching and start choosing. You stop looking for external answers and start tuning into frequencies where answers already exist. You stop seeking transformation and start tuning into the frequency where you're already transformed. You stop chasing happiness and start tuning into the frequency where happiness is your natural state. This shift from searching to tuning brings deep peace, because you're no longer running after something that's always escaping. You're simply choosing which frequency to experience now, knowing all possibilities are always available, waiting only for you to tune in. Your life is a symphony of consciously chosen frequencies. Each thought is a note, each emotion is a chord, each action is a movement in the composition of your experience. You are simultaneously the composer, conductor, and instrument of this quantum symphony. The universe isn't waiting for you to become worthy, qualified, or perfect. It's waiting for you to tune into the frequency of the reality you genuinely desire to experience. Your only task is to adjust the dial of your consciousness and allow the music of your ideal life to begin playing. If this video resonated with your most authentic frequency, subscribe to the channel to continue receiving quantum tuning codes. Leave in the comments which frequency you're choosing to tune into from now on, and share this video with someone who needs to discover their own internal quantum radio. Your conscious tuning inspires others to find their own perfect frequency.